money. A simple idea that shaped feudal systems and empires, fueled innovation, started wars, and built civilizations. But money wasn't always metal coins, paper banknotes, or glowing pixels on a screen. This is the extraordinary story of how humanity created one of the most powerful ideas in history. A story that begins 10,000 years ago, long before currencies, markets, or banks, when survival was the only priority. Have you ever wondered how money emerged? How did humanity begin to measure the value of things? The answer is as old as human history itself. Long before money existed, people lived using a barter system. A farmer grew wheat. A shepherd raised sheep. If the farmer wanted to eat lamb, he would trade wheat with the shepherd. Basically, I give you wheat, you give me meat. Although simple, this system created many problems. It was hard to find exactly what you wanted at the right moment. Products had different values. How many bags of wheat equals one sheep? This question often caused arguments, and many goods couldn't be stored for long. Milk, fruit, and similar items spoiled quickly. These problems pushed people to think. There needed to be something universal, a common measure of value. The first objects that could be considered money were valuable, durable goods. Around 3000 BC in Mesopotamia, people used barley grains and silver ingots as exchange tools. In Africa, it was salt, in Asia rice, and in Pacific Islands, seashells acted as money. These items represented a value accepted by everyone, but there was still a problem. They were hard to measure and transport, so people needed something more durable, easy to carry, and easy to quantify. Around the 7th century BC, in what is now Western Anatolia, particularly the Lydian kingdom, the first metal coins were created. These coins were made from electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver. Each coin carried the stamp of the king or the state. This stamp guaranteed the coin's value and authenticity. This invention was a turning point in human history. Money was now backed by an authority. After the Lydians, the Greeks and Romans turned money into the foundation of trade. The Roman Empire used gold, silver, and bronze coins with the emperor's face on them. This not only made trade easier, but also spread imperial power across the world. Meanwhile, in China, bronze knife-shaped and spade-shaped coins were used. Later, with the invention of paper, the Chinese created the world's first paper money. Around the 11th century, merchants began using state-approved paper notes instead of carrying heavy metal coins. This was the foundation of the modern banknote system. In medieval Europe, as trade increased, new practical solutions emerged. Italian bankers, especially in Florence and Venice, stored gold in their vaults and issued written receipts in exchange. These receipts were accepted in other cities too. Thus, the first banking systems were born. It was essentially an early version of the credit card. You deposited money in one place and could spend it in another. During this period, the concept of the gold standard was born. Every currency was backed by a certain amount of gold. By the 17th century, paper money became common in Europe. The Bank of England was founded in 1694 and began issuing reliable banknotes. These notes were initially backed by a certain amount of gold. But over time, governments realized that they could manage their economies better by issuing money not backed by gold. Thus, modern monetary policy was born. By the 19th century, trade had become global. Railways, steamships, and the telegraph made goods and information travel faster. Banks merged, international trade institutions were established, and stock markets appeared. Money's value no longer depended solely on metal. It depended on confidence in a nation's economy. In the 20th century, money transformed once again. Credit cards, ATMs, and electronic transfers emerged. Even without physical cash, we lived in a world where money existed as numbers. In the 1970s, the global monetary system completely abandoned the gold standard. From that moment on, the value of money depended entirely on the trust placed in governments and central banks. In the 21st century, a new idea appeared. Money should be controlled not by states, but by people. In 2009, Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency, was created. In this system, the value of money relied not on a government's power, but on mathematical algorithms and user trust. Today, there are thousands of cryptocurrencies, and some may shape the future of finance. But one question remains: what is real money? Where does trust come from? Looking back at human history, although the form of money has constantly changed, one thing has remained the same: trust. In the barter era, people trusted each other's word. In the Lydian era, the stamp on the coin created trust. And today, even in the digital world, every form of money is built on a system of trust. In short, money is not just metal or paper. It is the symbol of people's trust in one another. And as long as humanity exists, the form of money will change, but the search for trust will never end. Thank you for watching. You can support my channel by hitting the like button and subscribing.